Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're really jumping into something fascinating. We're exploring friction, those moments that feel tough, but might actually unlock unexpected insights.
And how chaos isn't always just, well, chaos. Sometimes it's the engine for innovation.
Exactly. Not just disruption. So, for this deep dive, we've got some really unique source material. It's all insights for September 3rd, 2025. We're looking at the astrology of the day and also a StoryScope called Signals in the Static.
Both from Tarot by High C. That's tarotbyheyhic.net if you want to check them out.
Right. And just a quick heads up before we really dig in, we're not here doing predictions or pushing any specific belief system.
No, definitely not.
We're using the language, the imagery, the stories from these sources more like a metaphorical lens, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's about extracting the universal principles. How challenges, even sudden shocks, can actually show us a clearer path.
Yeah, how to find those brilliant breakthroughs, tuning that static, that noise, into actual signals you can use.
That's the goal.
So our mission today is basically to unpack all of that, go beyond the literal text and find the wisdom that resonates, for all of us.
Makes sense. Where do we start?
Okay, let's get started with the astrological perspective for September 3rd, 2025. The source material gets right off saying it's a day where shakeups are practically unavoidable.
Right away, you get that sense of intensity.
Totally. And it talks about this tangible friction between the need for cautious progress and the urge to take immediate action.
Oh, I think we all know that feeling, that internal push and pull.
Don't we just wanting to be careful, but also feeling that urge to just do something?
Absolutely. And the source points out this isn't comfortable energy. It tends to magnify whatever tensions already exist.
Makes sense, like turning up the volume on existing stress.
Yeah, and it creates this psychological tug of war between playing it safe and taking bigger risks. That's a really good way to put it.
It is. And it also notes something important about our internal state, right?
Yeah.
That insecurities and fears could interfere with our ability to make wise decisions.
Yes. So it's not just external chaos, it's how we react internally. That internal landscape becomes crucial, how we manage the pressure.
And that pressure, it seems, can easily spill outwards into how we deal with each other. The source mentions sensitivity to others is heightened. So if you're feeling touchy, chances are others are too.
It's like everyone's nerves are a bit frayed.
Exactly. It warns communications could be very challenging. People might be impatient, irritable, and demanding, maybe even quick to anger.
It paints a picture of a pretty volatile atmosphere. What do you think is going on there psychologically when everyone gets so irritable?
Well, I think it often comes down to feeling a lack of control, maybe, when things feel uncertain or overwhelming.
Yeah, that fight or flight thing can kick in. Irritability, snapping. It's often a defense mechanism when our plans get disrupted. It feels threatening.
Right. And this is where the source brings in that specific astrological idea, connecting this feeling to something called Mercury square Uranus.
Ah, okay. So for listeners who might not be familiar with that specific framework.
Yeah, let's break that down metaphorically.
Yeah.
How does Mercury square Uranus fit this idea of precision crashing into chaos?
Okay, so in this system, think of Mercury as representing like logic, communication, plans, how we structure things mentally. Neat and tidy.
Order.
Right? And Uranus, that represents sudden shifts, breakthroughs, disruption, innovation, thinking way outside the box, unexpected energy.
Got it. So a square between them means?
It means tension, a dynamic, challenging interaction. It's a metaphor for when our neat, logical plans, Mercury, slam right into these unpredictable, maybe even revolutionary forces, Uranus.
So precision crashes into chaos. Literally.
Exactly. But it's not just random destruction. The idea here is that this clash, this tension, actually pushes us out of outdated ways of thinking. It forces evolution if we engage with it right.
Okay, so it's not all bad news then. This friction, this cosmic collision the source describes, it could actually forge something totally new.
That's the potential, yeah.
The source is explicit. Expect static, glitches, and breakthrough moments disguised as disruptions. And crucially, the most innovative solutions emerge from seemingly chaotic circumstances.
Disguised as disruptions. I like that.
Me too. It even says our mental energy can feel electric, erratic, and slightly feral.
Huh. Feral. That's vivid. Like our thoughts are off leash, maybe.
Yeah. Running on high voltage, maybe a bit wild, but maybe finding new trails because of it.
Precisely. And that's the core insight, isn't it? These aren't just problems to fix. They're potential opportunities.
So how do we handle that? What's the advice?
Well, the source gives some really direct, practical advice for navigating this kind of energy. It says, don't cling to perfect plans, experiment.
Experimentation, okay.
And get this, write down every wild, random idea. Today's scribbles may be tomorrow's genius.
I love that. Don't filter too early.
Exactly. It suggests that maybe the most structured approach, paradoxically, is to consciously embrace a bit of that chaos, to let the unexpected insights shuffle the deck, reorganize plans in ways we never could have strategized.
Letting go of what you thought the plan was.
Right. To make space for something new. But, this does raise a question. How do you tell the difference between, productive chaos and just a mess?
That's a really important point. When is structure still vital?
Yeah, because embrace chaos sounds great, but how do you do it without things just falling apart?
I think maybe the key is in the intention behind it. Like you said, experimentation. Not just letting things crumble, but actively looking at the disruptions.
Treating them like data, like clues.
Yeah. Which actually leads perfectly into the story from our source material, the StoryScope called Signals in the Static. It's about an inventor named Mara.
Okay, let's hear about Mara.
So Mara's trying to perfect this invention, a really ambitious one, a communications device meant to bridge thought and machine.
Wow, okay, high stakes.
Oh, definitely. And her initial approach, it's all about control, precision, neat lines, carefully measured equations, and tidy circuits, the way you'd expect, right? Following the rules.
Standard engineering, seeking order. Makes sense, especially with something complex. We try to minimize chaos.
Exactly. But this is where her story mirrors that Mercury square Uranus energy we talked about.
Wow.
Her careful precision was about to meet, well, the unpredictable.
How did that show up for her?
Glitches. Her computer started glitching. The source describes code collapsed mid-sequence, symbols got scrambled, weird static patterns appeared.
Okay, so basically, total system failure from her perspective at first. The nightmare scenario for an inventor.
You bet. You can imagine the frustration. The story says she cursed the failure, probably wanted to just scrap it all and go back to the drawing board.
Retreat to the known, the orderly.
But then she noticed something. Something really profound, these glitches. They weren't just random noise.
Oh.
The source says they mapped themselves across her earlier designs, twisting flaws into new patterns.
Wow, so the errors weren't just errors, they were information.
Kind of. It was that pivot point.
Yeah.
Shifting from this is broken to, hang on, what is this actually doing?
Yeah.
What is it showing me?
That's the crucial shift, isn't it? From fighting the chaos to actually engaging with it, listening to the static instead of just trying to eliminate it.
Yes. And she started acting on it. The story says she began scribbling down fragments, triangles intersecting with waveforms, broken code stitched into spirals, things that made no logical sense on their own, but felt alive.
So she leaned into the illogical, the intuitive part.
Totally. And the more chaotic her notes got, the more her own mind sparked. The source uses this great image, like lightning striking dry ground.
So letting go of rigid logic actually freed up her creativity. It wasn't about solving the original problem anymore, but letting the chaotic state reveal a whole new direction.
It's an amazing picture of how the mind can find patterns in apparent disorder once you stop resisting it.
So what happened to her process, her blueprints?
It completely transformed. Precision was crumbling, but in its collapse came brilliance. That's how the source puts it. She literally tore apart her blueprints, started taping these wild scribbles over them, circling the glitches she would have thrown out before.
So embracing the failures physically, incorporating them.
Yeah. Her whole studio became this whirlwind of scraps and static, and her brain was just buzzing. It's creation born from what looked like destruction, breaking those old mental molds.
Incredible. So connecting this back, what did the final device look like? And did it work?
Well, the device she built from all this chaos, it didn't look sleek or elegant. Not at all.
Not the perfect design she started with.
No. It had wires looped out like tangled vines, bits of glass humming with symbols she'd drawn all over like runes. Sounds pretty wild.
Definitely unconventional. But the important part, did it function?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
And in a profound way. When she powered it on, the air vibrated with a clarity she couldn't describe. And then a voice, her own, yet not, spoke back to her from the machine.
Whoa, not an echo, an answer.
Exactly. It highlights that breakthrough innovation often looks nothing like our neat preconceptions. That voice, her own, yet not, suggests an insight deeper, than just logic, born from embracing the unpredictable, an answer to a question she didn't even know how to ask initially.
That's powerful. It found the answer through the chaos, not despite it.
Right, and Mara's reaction. She just laughed, feral and free, surrounded by the glorious disorder of her creation. Because what started as failure, as just noise, had become the first signal of something entirely new.
What a story. A testament to leaning into the mess.
It really is. So, okay, we've got the astrological metaphor of intense, chaotic energy, and we've got Mara's amazing journey. What's the blueprint for us? How do we take this into our daily lives?
Well, I think the core message is pretty clear. Don't automatically fear disruptions or those unexpected swerves.
Try to see them differently.
Yeah, actively look at them as potential fuel for innovation. And that requires some critical thinking about our own assumptions, right? Questioning what a perfect plan even means.
Maybe perfection isn't the real goal. Maybe adaptability is.
Exactly. It's not easy. Our brains love predictability. But letting go of what should be perfect to find out what could be brilliant, that's where the magic can happen.
So for you listening, how can you start spotting the static or the glitches in your own world, the things that might be signals in disguise?
Could be anything. A project changing scope at work, unexpected feedback, a personal challenge throwing you off course.
Right. Instead of just reacting with frustration, how can you consciously allow a bit of that chaos to maybe reorganize things, rather than just digging your heels into the old way?
And remember that advice. Write down every wild, random idea. Those scribbles could be genius tomorrow. It's not just brainstorming. It's giving permission to the illogical, the unconventional.
Maybe even keep like a dedicated chaos journal just for those weird, disruptive thoughts.
I love that idea. And it ties back to the psychological side, too, dealing with impatience, irritability, that internal tug of war. By consciously choosing to experiment, to allow for unexpected insights, you can actually reframe that internal struggle. It becomes less about fighting the discomfort and more about seeing what emerges from it.
Recognizing that clarity can come from the noise, but maybe only if you engage with that noise in a new way.
Exactly. So maybe just for the next week, try a little experiment. See every unexpected hiccup, every glitch, not as just an annoyance,
but as a potential signal.
Yes. Just observe it. Make a note. Ask yourself, okay, what new pattern might this be trying to show me?
That's a great practical takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
And that really brings us to the end of our deep dive for today. We've looked at how these intense, sometimes chaotic energies, using our source material as a lens, can actually be these incredible moments for breakthroughs.
We saw Mara's journey literally turning glitches into genius.
And we talked about how you can start applying these ideas yourself. Hopefully, it encourages you to, rethink how you approach problems, how you look at challenges.
Seeing the potential for those signals in the static. And maybe a final thought to leave you with. If real clarity, if those big breakthroughs often come from chaos and disruption, how many glitches in your own life right now might actually be signals you've been overlooking?
Signals just waiting for you to embrace their wild possibility.
Yeah, and maybe. How could you intentionally introduce a little bit of productive static into your own world just to stir things up and see what new solutions emerge?
Definitely something to ponder. Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Remember, you can find more from our source material over at tarotbytachos-i-a.net. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
And keep an eye out for those signals in the static.